Thank you so much. I really appreciate that introduction, Brian, and that great round of applause. It's funny because you only see snippets of it, but every time I see that video of me in the race, I still get nervous. I'm sitting there going, "Go, Rowdy, hurry, hurry." My palms get all sweaty. Thank goodness it turns out the same way every time. When you sail through those good times, it's a piece of cake. It's living through the tough times that really do make you tough. Let me give you an example for me. And I know Brian touched upon it a little bit. The video obviously touched upon it. But in 1980, I was supposed to have done well in those Olympic Games. My times would have won 5 gold medals. Anything could have happened back then, but you never know. I'll never forget the President of the United States at the time. He came on television the day after I broke my very first world record. And to break a world record in my sport is pretty cool. The day after he announced that we would not go to those Olympics, that we would boycott those Olympics. And you have to remember, in my sport, the pinnacle of success is the Olympics. That's the highest level we can reach. We don't have a Super Bowl. We don't have a World Series. We don't have a Sugar Bowl. You know, if Auburn, Alabama don't get it one year, they have the next year to be able to shoot for. Well, my journey turned into an 8-year journey. And that 8 years was very important for me because I wanted to be an Olympian. Let me give you an example. This is a true story, by the way. This is dedication at its best, and commitment at its best. I'm out on the deck at the Olympic trials, and the Olympic trials is a very intense competition because you make the Olympic team at that meet or you don't. It's very simple. It's not like we automatically have a time standard or you all just show up at the Olympics and say, "Hi, give me my gold medal." You make it at this meet, and you get first place or second place, or you don't go to the Olympics. It's that simple. So it's a very intense meet. I'm very nervous. I'm out on the deck. I have my warm-ups on. There's about 3,000 people in the audience. Wide World of Sports back then. Wide World of Sports is filming the whole thing. And my coach is standing there with me, and I take my warm-ups off, and I hand them to him because I want to warm up right before my race. And I start stretching and swinging my arms, and all of a sudden it gets real quiet. Somebody up in the stands yells, "Rowdy, look down!" And I look down, and I'm completely naked. My coach is just back there standing, smiling away. Never said a word. I think the worst part of it all was Tracy Calkins, who happens to be the greatest female swimmer. It's also in the meet. She's sitting right next to me. She looks at me and she looks up and she goes, "Rowdy, it's no big deal." I swear to you. You go ahead and laugh. Go ahead. Her next race, she broke a world record, and I take full credit for that. You have to have adversity in your life to come together as a team, to come together as a family. And I had that adversity in 1980. I had that adversity in 1991. I came down with an illness that Janet Evans on the video mentioned to you called Guillan-Barre Syndrome. And Guillain-Barré strikes the nervous system, and I won't go into the details, but it basically shreds the sheath around your nerve, and it paralyzes you. It short-circuits your nervous system. So I went within a 24-hour period of swimming in a race to being completely paralyzed. Completely. Everything gone. Everything shut down. And I had to learn how to do everything all over again. But I did it through support. I did it through my teammates, my immediate family, but I also did it through the support of the swimming community. I got hundreds, if not thousands, of letters and cards from people in the swimming community. This is your team. This is your family. You have to realize that. And you're like brothers and sisters. You're going to have your squabbles. You're going to have your ups and downs. But it's important to come together when everything means the most. When you face that kind of adversity that you all have faced over the last couple of years. This was at the Olympics, and you have to remember at the Olympics, it's really cool because all the different cultures, all the different countries from around the world come together, and we all stay together at this one village. In fact, it was at the USC, Southern California's college campus. And I'm at the cafeteria real early one morning to get an early start, and there was one other guy, and he was sitting across from me, and he didn't look like an athlete, to tell you the truth. He had, his warm-ups were kind of torn and tattered, and he was sitting across from me, and he had a tea bag, and he took the tea bag, he broke open the tea bag, and he poured the contents in the cup, and then he poured the hot water on. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't realize that the paper on the bag was okay. And so I said, I'm going to teach this man some culture. So I said, excuse me, didn't speak any English, excuse me, paper okay, paper okay. I put it in the cup, poured the hot water around in the cup, and the brown started coming out of the bag. And you should have seen this guy. His eyes got real big, and he couldn't believe it. And I was thinking, isn't this great, teaching some culture to a man from outer Mongolia? And the next thing he did was he took a packet of sugar and threw it in the tea. Swear. He stirred it up. He goes, paper okay, paper okay. I go, yeah.